Now when you're changing oil on these little bikes, they have an off-angle, off-camber fill spout, which looks easy, but you can't just pour right into it, and a regular funnel won't work on it. Therefore, you're going to have a mess. You're going to have crap all over your hands, whole 9 yards. So what I would suggest to do, first of all, get some gloves. Okay, if your hands are oily and messy, you can't do a good job. Secondly, this is a nice multi-purpose funnel, okay? Now, we go down here to the fill hole, which is right there. We put this in, and you can see it's still off. Okay, but it will work. Next thing we do is we look at the ratio right, and it on one side is for 2-stroke oil per gallon, 5 gallon, 1 gallon. Here we have pints, cc's, and fluid ounces. Since it takes half of a quart, I think that's, it says 1/2 right there. I can't really read it. But what you do is you fill up your 1 quart into here, half of it, and you can also use on the back side, it has a little tiny clear window. You have to look real close. You pour it in here up to 1/2 or whatever, or go below 1/2. You do not want to fill over, okay? This bike has got 1 full quart of oil in it. Okay, it's only supposed to have 1/2. The deal is, if you have more oil in it than it should have, it creates an overpressure, which is not good. They're designed by Honda to take a certain amount of oil, and that's it. So you want to just either go right what they say, or maybe, you know, a little bit more won't hurt. But after, okay, we got this thing, all this cleaned up here. I'm gathering my thoughts. This is a bypass valve that goes underneath the crankcase over here, along with the washer for it. I'm not sure how it works, but you gotta keep it clean. And this is your dipstick, okay? And it has a point close to my finger and a point close to the end of the tip. What you want to do is you don't want to let the oil go beneath the tip. How you tell the oil is you fill up the bike, let it run for a minute where you want it. You take the dipstick and just drop it in there, just like that. You don't screw it in. You just drop it in, you pull it out, and see how much oil is on this gauge. After you've seen how much oil is on it, you take a rag and you wipe it off, and you put it back in there if you add more oil. The one thing is, when you're starting the bike or running it, don't run it without the cap on, because it'll blow oil back and make it a mess. And I'm just trying to show you the easiest way to do it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And you want to change the oil about, I would say, once every season is good. Because the oil, it gets dark, it loses its viscosity, and it doesn't run right. These little motors require, with 1 piston, that you really take care of the internals. Because on a bigger bike, you have more pistons, you can have more screw-ups. But these little ones, it's better just to do it right. And you go on the internet, you can see how much oil you're supposed to put in them. And one thing I'd like to say is, if you need parts, a good place to find parts, used parts, go on eBay. Punch in CH80 2001 Honda, and you'll come up with a bunch of people that have motors. Sometimes they'll have seats, they'll have front ends, they'll have all kinds of little dink parts where somebody has torn them apart and is selling them piece by piece. You may even find a good deal. But part for part, if this bike were sold on the Microfiche Honda website, it would probably cost you $4,500 in parts, if you could still get the parts. A lot of them aren't made anymore. So I'm just giving you some tips on how to do it, because these are my babies. This is, I've told the owner all the hours I've spent on this. If I can't get it to idle right, which I'm having a little bit of a problem, I won't charge her a dime. Mainly because I just love what I'm doing. And isn't that, if you love what you're doing and love your job, shouldn't you enjoy it? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and purchase this. Try. It's just me. It's Dio Speed Demon. All right. Thank you. We'll continue.